to the groundsman, who's really kept everything in top condition, and we haven't been disappointed by the play that has been on display either. So the players, the officials are soon to take their positions. Well, one thing to say is welcome, Ms. K, and this is a moment you have been waiting for.
Of course, Gloria, good afternoon to our viewers. We are here to wrap up Group A like you alluded, and the big question is between Herental Queens as well as Lesotho Defense Force. Which side will be going home pointless, or are they going to decide to give us the first draw of these qualifiers? It is a big question that I believe the two teams are going to be giving us answers in 90 minutes.
Well, talking about 90 minutes, we look at the form of these teams coming into this match. Well, it was Escondola Girls that took away 3 points from Herental Queens, winning that one by 5 goals to 2, leading 3-1 in the first half. They went on to lose against Gaborone United by a goal to 0. Well, here's Lesotho Defense Force, the team arriving in good spirits, hoping to put their right foot forward. This has been the surprise of the tournament, playing some wonderful football, very, very compact, and just ensuring that they make it difficult for any team they come against. Many thought this was the team that would be the whipping girls of Group A. But on the other hand, this is the change room of Herentals. You've got Zulu, you've got Shonga, and you've also got Dimpo Tako. And here is Rungu, who also has been Maforuse, a revelation for Herental Queens. Well, not forgetting their captain, Polite Mabika. This is the arrivals of Herentals, and this team has been the talk of the tournament. We've really been blessed to see Hadija Malongo, Pregnant Zawanda, and proudly draping the flag of Zimbabwe. They've pushed aside Black Rhino Queens. They are the team at the moment that is really riding on a high, and on the back of the WAFCON, the Scorchers doing exceptionally well.
That's the Lesotho Defense Force. The dressing room, one will be looking at how they are going to do. So far, they have only scored a single goal against the Gaborone United. They lost narrowly against the Escondola Girls. And you look at this Lesotho Defense Force side, you'll be looking at the only change they have made today, Glo, when you talk about the changes the two teams have made. And as for Herentals, I believe it's an issue of giving other players a chance to also have a taste of this COSAFA qualifiers, hence the reason why the coach has made 7 changes. How impactful will those changes be today as they are looking for the first maximum points, or maybe a point of this tournament?
Well, I think the last game of the group is normally an opportunity for the coach to experiment and give the other players an opportunity to have some minutes under the belt, as we're seeing a number of debutants coming in from Herental Queens. Grace Kazembe is one of those that should be getting a few minutes in the starting lineup. Some that come off the bench usually are starting the particular match, but they really have been awesome in this tournament. And the Lesotho Defense Force also just spotting one player, as you mentioned, that's Lerato Keme. She comes in wearing the captain's armband in this particular match. You know, she's been fantastic as we have a look at the match ball that has been used throughout this tournament. It is day 5, match number 9. There's the bench showing the depth, showing their support. The coach of Herentals, that's Taurai Manguiro. He's probably been a coach that is happiest of the two sides. Bright cerise uniform, that is Herental Queens, that is in your picture. still sharing a moment or two before the seriousness of the match begins. You then have, on the other hand, Lesotho Defence Force. That is Coach Nation Dube, who has really brought in some fantastic players. Alice Moyo, a player who's brought an abundance of experience, and those are the TSG, Dr. Brenda Kunda of Zambia, and they too are getting themselves ready as we deliver another state-of-the-art performance and another wonderful production as the officials lead out the players onto the field. It is a moment that will be cherished by every single one, whether you're a volunteer who's taking the step onto this field, as a player, as a former player. When that music plays, the hair stands on the arm and you remember your purpose. And the purpose right now is to represent your country and represent your family, to go out there and be dignified and ensuring that you give it your all.
Talking about this music, Glow, you look at our ball girls, you look at those who are helping. These are the youngsters which we are going to be seeing in the next 3, 4, 5 years, representing different clubs in BW. Maybe it's your Gaborone United, your Double Action, your Township Plus. We can name them. Through these girls, they know this music will ring a bell in the future.
Well, here is Lesotho Defence Force just getting the handshakes and getting ready to take their position and take the team photo. Herentals also does the same, greeting the officials and just making sure that the respect is given to Our Lady in the middle of the park, or Our Ladies that are responsible for today's fixture. We do introduce to you, that is Kialiwo Hachame, of Botswana. We also have Luengo Utsohang of Botswana. We got Beauty Siantotola of Zambia. So that's just the caption to make sure that I don't give you a different name. So those are the officials for the match today, and one would be expecting nothing less than a good showing, as they have done fantastically well throughout this particular tournament. Herentals standing just in front of the photographers for their picture as well, and they'll make their way to the opposite end. The Lesotho Defence Force just coming through to shake hands also with those players that are on the bench, who will come in and contribute as the match gets older. Polite Mabiga, the captain of Herental Queens, nicely strapped with the captain's armband. You also then have Lerato Keme, jersey number 5, lovely height, lovely player. But Polite Mabika has been in the wars. She's played every single minute of every match thus far.
Going to be looking at, you know, these two sides, and when you take a look at the formations, very interesting that Herentals are coming up with a 4-4-2 formation. And, you know, we're going to be looking forward to see between Herentals and Lesotho Defence Force which side will give us the best of the first 45.
Well, here's the Herental Queens lineup. It's Hadija Nalongo, Prainance Zwanda, Polite Mabika, Milanda Rungu, Grace Kazambe, Mori Mafaruse, Di Mapua, Bethel Kondo, Christabel Zulu, Bridget Mutaura, and Tumbare Egres. On the bench, you've got Alice Moyo, Rujeko Kunze, Lindiwe Magwede, and Shalina Damba Morono, and Coach Taurai Maguiro has had enough time with this side. It is then that we are looking at the formations.
Yeah, the formation of Herental Queens coming up with the 4-4-2 formation. I'll see how they will do. You look at that midfield of Mafaruse, Kondo, Zulu, Rungu. How dominant will they be?
Talking about dominance in the middle of the park and showing balance, showing composure. You're using the back four as well as organization. But let's welcome Lesotho Defence Force. It is Sibolelo Mwenza Bokang Etsane, Lerato Keme Musele Peter, Dimpo Ntako, and Tabeleng Makabane. Reitumetse Namane, Tatom Pepesa, Mahoto Maulusi, and Maseriti Muhlolo, and Sabeng Pili. It is Mam Kabane on the bench, Swanelo Rory Sang, Lerato Mantiti, and Itumeleng. Coach Nation Dube has really emphasized the fact that he is here not to just make the numbers. They line up,
4-3-3 formation. Glow looking at the front three. They are definitely looking for more goals. They have scored one. They are looking to add more to the only goal they scored against Gaborone United.
Well, it is all systems go here at the Gaborone United Stadium, and we do get the Lesotho Defence Force that gets us underway, and two beautiful colours on display. Lesotho in the yellow, attacking the goals from the right to the left of your screen. Herentals in the cerise. For some of you, you'd say pink, and that's okay. They are attacking the goals from the left to the right of your screen. Very early intention from Herental Queens, who wants to get started with an early goal to unsettle Lesotho Defence Force, but we've got to see how organized Lesotho is defensively.
After all, they are a defense force side. We're going to be looking at that, and they have conceded 3 goals so far, Lesotho Defense Force, and it's a side which is on spot number 3, like you said a little bit earlier, Glow. They're going to be saying we don't want to go home being bottom of Group A.
Talking about being at the bottom of Group A, they don't want to go home empty-handed, because at this present moment they are yet to get a point. They both are sitting with 2 defeats at the bottom of the log. On top of the log is Gaborone United, as well as Zesco. That ball delivered in, quite elusive. And it is Prainance Zawanda that will try and bring it back into the box, but Polite Mabika calmly slots that away, realizing that defensively they were outnumbered, and just wanting to make sure that the players come back into position. Here's Lesotho Defence Force with Dimpo Ntako. Ball goes out.
We're going to be looking at how the 2 teams are going to do. You can see that the game is starting on a very high tempo. The first 10 minutes, what are they going to give us? And you reference to the past 2 games. They have started so well, Lesotho Defence Force. Unfortunately, them getting a point, them getting a goal is something that has been very difficult.
It has been very difficult because they have applied on a number of occasions a 4-3-3, but they faced some difficulty or having to navigate their way against Zesco, a very well balanced and organized team, and also they were up against the defending champions. So one could say in this Group A it has been a baptism of fire. It's not to say though they haven't put some good passes together. It doesn't say they haven't put some good performances together. I think it's been pretty tight. Testimony to that is when you look at the Lesotho Defence Force, they have scored or lost by a goal to 0. He has an opportunity on the other end. Goalkeeper comes out, gets a foot in, and has remained on the ground. Sibolelo Mwenza has stayed on the ground, and she had to be decisive in that move.
It's those moments where the goalkeeper has a say of whether they are going to concede or she's going to be the hero of the team. And you look at the Herentals, the first touch, they're a bit disappointing. A good cover up by the goalkeeper for her defense.
Goalkeeper stayed down, and the medical team is been summoned to just quickly investigate the player and see that there's nothing serious about that particular fall or that challenge. Ice will certainly be welcome. If I was in her shoes, under the conditions at 30 degrees as it states. We'll have a look at how she went down in the box, the goalkeeper. She had to be quite clear in making a decision and being quite cautious about how she approaches that particular challenge, because any touch in the box that goes weary is one that is talking to a penalty for sure. So for a goalkeeper, you have to be cautious.
Very cautious. I thought we were gonna see if there was a little bit of a touch on her by the Herentals forwards or not. But at that, nonetheless, corner kick for Herentals.
Ball in the box, on the edge of the box. Snapshot that goes wide. 5 minutes almost approaching. Referee wants a retake. Good take off the chest of Modi. In actual fact, it's Ray Tumetsi Namani. Ray Tumetsi, the player who's got a goal to her name. Oh, and that lipstick, absolutely beautiful. Tato Mapepesa, the 23-year-old who also has been crucial to the defense of Lesotho. She's played every minute. Here's Mapepesa. A good build-up from the back with confidence and a good couple of balls, but I want to believe that Makgoto is offside.
Offside there, but you know, you look at the display, the build-up of Lesotho, the way they pass the ball with a little bit of speed in it, you got to appreciate that. And if Makgoto wasn't offside, it would have been lovely to see the end result, the end product of that beautiful movement.
Free kick. Ball in the air. On the edge of the box. Still hanging up in the air, and eventually it is the captain. That's Lerato Keme. Prudence Zwawanda is not about to dish out and give away easy fouls. She just wants to disrupt the play. And, the referee allowing the flow to eventually just brings a stop. Tumbane Ignis is the player that will hoof that ball forward with the hope of picking out Zwawanda and Mapua inside the box. Here's Kondo, ball delivered in, away by Tato Mapepesa. So almost 8 minutes. Ball goes out, and for a throw-in, Rungu takes a throw-in, plays it back, and the delivery goes into the box. A first touch took that ball away from a player. Here's an opportunity for Lesotho Defence Force with Makgoto, and that's a disappointment. Makgoto knows she should have done better. I mean, she really had a clear sight of goal.
She should have done better. I mean, she was ahead of the defenders. She should have just relaxed, carry on with the ball. Any touch which was going to be done by the Herental Queens, so it was going to be a foul. You know, free kicks, you can score from them. She should have done better. She was in a rush to take the ball off her feet, which I don't know why she felt like I need to take a shot.
Makgoto showed too much of the ball. It's picked up by Bethel Kondo. Kondo still fighting it out, but he has Masiriti for company. Masiriti is disrupting play and then gets back into a position very quickly, looking to ensure that Bethel doesn't have that much room or space. Well, with the 4-4-2 formation, you are expecting a bit of tight midfield battles and also organized lines, and you know, a team that will cover the width of the pitch. Here's an opportunity and another offside that is melted. And Herental's playing a rather dangerous game very early in this match. But with the 4-4-2, you really are trying to minimize the gaps on the field between the players, and we'll get to see that stability that also comes with the 4-4-2.
And also looking at the fact that they are playing with 4 midfielders, one woman more than LDF, they should be able to cover each other really well. And so far, Lesotho Defence Force with 3 offsides. The Herentals, they need to be careful because one way or the other, they're going to think it's an offside while it's not.
They'll get it right, basically.
Get it right, yeah.
So a throw in for Herentals, team from Zimbabwe. They lost against Zesco by 5 goals to 2 in the 90 minutes. They were down at 3-1 in the halftime break. That is Herentals. Ruthless performance from Zesco Ndola girls, who will be playing later on this evening at 7 p.m. in what they deem the semi-finals. That's 2 very, very competitive sides that do know each other and have met each other previously. Herentals clearing the lines, but that falls into the midfield, and Mahotsa will keep the momentum going. Masiriti, the Dimpo, Herentals will deal with it. Prainans Zawanda brings in Kondo. Prainans continue to run, showing that she does have the pace. Ball delivered into the box, but look, that's probably a tame shot from you got to look at Mwenza. Say she did enough just to close that angle, but I can assure you there was some tiredness in that attack. Maybe an option of playing the ball back into the oncoming midfielders after running almost the full length of the pitch.
Decision making goes back to decision making. You raise your head up, don't run with the ball looking down. You have to be aware of your surrounding.
Talking about surroundings, Herentals in what was a pulsating 1-0 hard-fought win for Gaborone United. Herentals were not about to give up the 3 points, and everybody feels that should have been at least a draw. Football is absolutely cruel. It's not about possession, it's about taking opportunities, it's about being composed in high-pressure moments, as we get to see Zulu there being penalized by the referee, and a free kick is given. Picked up one more time in that midfield. Coming to the left-hand side is Diwi Mapua, 14-year-old Diwi, looking for the return play. Instead goes into the central park as Mafuruse then sends that ball over the top, and goalkeeper wins that race. Will give an opportunity to launch one of those attacks, and looking for Mahotso. Polite Mavika, she has Masiriti for company, breathing down the neck. Good turn by Betel Kondo. Nice delivery, the bounce of the ball, an awkward one, and eventually it's LDF that come away with it, but that was a bit of a dangerous ball, defending on the wrong side of the attack as well, because as the attacker turned, all they should have done is a snapshot and had a clear sight on a goal. Eventually, we are, at a point where coaches are still trying to get the players, some of them, to understand the tactics and exploit opportunities. Here we have Lesotho Defence Force with Mahotso. She oversteps that ball. Picked up in the middle of the park one more time by Ntabeleng Makabane. Mosele Peter switching to a very determined Ray Tubetsi, who takes the strike, but that's absolutely tame from the edge of the box.
She had space, she had the time to do better. At least, put in a bit of power in the ball. Give the goalkeeper something to do. That was an easy one for Nalungo.
It's Dimpo who will allow that ball to trickle over for a goal kick. Mapua, who had just whipped that ball across the face of goal. Good turn and good find running into trouble. And Tabeleng, old referee Kialibuha, is very close to the action. 14 minutes. The referee does want the discipline to be very clear. Put the ball in the right spot. Makgotso takes it nicely off the chest. But I think it needed a couple of touches before going for the toe poke. Rungu, West for where? She'll run it off. Makgotso initially realizing that she was in an offside position, just holding a run, and was hoping that the referee had forgotten, decided to continue that run.
Fifth offside for Lesotho Defence Force in 15 minutes. I don't know if it's an issue of they are clearly showing their intentions of getting that goal, hence the reason why they are pushing forward. But unfortunately, getting loss of offside, which I believe they have to rectify the little runs, how to calculate the runs, more especially Makgotso. She can do much better. Here's the sixth one.
This will really be frustrating for the coach, having offside. Maybe you just need a bit of a bucket run to get behind the defense. Makgotso does have the pace, but she does not have the patience. Mafurus. Played short. Bridget Mutaura. Mafuruse does well to keep that ball in play. Looking for the return pass is Taura. Kondo. Prenans. And Rungu. She gives chase. But this time, goalkeeper Sibulelo Mwenza, she reads the danger and comes out very quickly and allows her defense to finally make their way back into position. Just hacking that ball out. Safety first is not a problem at all. And that is when you're showing a lot of awareness that you have been left pretty thin defensively. So just hacking that ball away from the goal mouth is certainly a good ploy, as she is a very vocal goalkeeper, making sure that she's got 2-3 players narrowing the angle on the edge of the box. And is Mafuruse eventually just poking that into or towards the goalkeeper.
A free kick which I believe the Herental Queens should have done better. Put it in the 18th area, put it in the penalty spot and see what will come out. You have a chance like that, you have a free kick like that and you don't take it well. These are some of the opportunities that you will look back and say, if I should have done that. But I believe the technical team is definitely looking some of the things to rectify in the second half or towards the end of the first half.
Giving up that chase with Makgotso. Ball coming from Masiriti. Throwing for Lesotho Defence Force. Simple pickup for goalkeeper Hadija. Hadija came on in the previous match for the injured #1 goalkeeper. She also is one of the wholesale changes made by Coach Taurai, giving an opportunity to the players who had not seen much of the action. It's been a tough tournament for Herentals. But the narrowly lost 1-0 just showed glimpses of what they can do. And that was a little bit of a disappointment for the coach. He really believed that could have gotten something out of that match. Under pressure, the goalkeeper does well. Well, right now in Gaborone, we're talking about 30 degrees, low humidity. It's a light northeasterly breeze at about, 8 kilometers. Well, later on this evening, it should be hovering around 21 degrees, maybe around 7 p.m., maybe even dropping a lot to about 19 degrees or so. There's no rain, there's no wind, just perfect football. Perfect weather for football.
Perfect.
Yes, Kondo. Inside the box is Rungu looking and asking for the supply. With 20 minutes on the clock, it's a Herental's no, the Lesotho Defence Force no. Disappointing ball from Christabel Zulu. She's onside. That is Reitumetse Namane. Again, it seems as though that ball is really too hot for Reitumetse. She could have just taken responsibility, pushed it a little bit more, got closer, placed the goalkeeper, did well to break the line. So Herentals and the offside trap in that particular moment, which is something you alluded to a little bit early, that they will continue to probe and eventually they will pay the price.
Reitumetse should have made them pay the price that she should have gotten her second goal of the tournament, and the coach needs to, motivate her, because chances like that and you're not utilizing them, they can demoralize you. But for Herental Queens, the technical team should be looking at them and say no, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. Lesotho Defence Force, they will look at those two chances that they had a glow and say we should have done better.
Should have, could have, and would have. There's another opportunity, and if played right, Maseriti looking for support, and it comes in the form of Ntabeleng Makabane. Eventually, it is Tumbare who wins that ball, but then gives it away. Quick throw in by Lesotho Defence Force. Well, each and every match you get a player of the match. And a lovely trophy for the individual contribution and performance. So throw in for Herentals. That's an offside. Apologies. There's a little bit of a distraction in the commentary booth. So we'll get it right. Two players running into each other. With the outside of the foot, Mapua. Mafuruse just not doing anything fancy, just realizing that she cannot deal. Here's Makhotso. Eventually, Mafuruse wins that battle. Another opportunity that Herentals is failing to make use of. Running into the player, Christabel Zulu, the 21-year-old. She's one of the players that's making a debut in this tournament. That's Christabel Zulu, jersey number 15, as we have a look at that incident in replay. Tried to turn and turns into trouble.
That was going to be a beautiful turn, eh?
Yeah. Kondo. Good sell of a drop of the shoulder. As Rungu goes down, keeper comes out and does make a good save. And there's also an offside flag. The offside flag there. Just coming up very, very quickly. Well, the water break has been given. An opportunity for the coach to get a few words, especially to this player of the Lesotho Defence Force, that is Makgotso Mulausi. She is really been one of those players that has found herself with a lot of space and time, and it's just rushing her shots or rushing the decisions. Maybe a little bit more composure, absolutely necessary. Goalkeeper, on the other hand, Sibulelo Mwenza had to pull off a save just to deny Herental's any early intentions here. We get to see the coach and his technical team sharing words of wisdom and encouragement to the players on hand, hoping that something will give.
Something should give, more especially to Lesotho Defence Force, looking at the chances that Makgotso had. One can also look at the midfield, Glo, and say, Peter Makabani, how are you supporting her? You know, Moyo, especially in those instances where she found herself all alone, having to fight the defence of Herentals. But for Herentals, you look at how Mwenza has actually kept LDF in the game with the 2 saves she made. Very interesting game so far. Despite the fact that we don't have a goal, but the game itself is very entertaining. The Queens, both LDF and Herentals, are giving us what we're expecting.
We did expect a tight match. These two teams want to go home with something. They really want to register in the archives of COSAFA. Something to talk about. Zulu. So for the moment, Lesotho Defence Force being pressured by the top 2 players, trying to apply the high press. The lipstick lady, Mapepesa. Today it's pink, yesterday it was red. Good return, but intercepted one more time by Mapepesa. So throw in Mafuruse. She'll get a strong hand to it. Inside the box. Still probably, eventually, the bounce of a ball. One that Lesotho Defense has to contend with. Mafuruse just whipping that ball right back. Keeper watching it and picking it up very easily. There's a player that went down in the box and holding her head. Let's hope it's not a serious injury, especially in this heat.
Hopefully it's not a serious injury, looking at how she has done so far in that Lesotho defense. And Tsani, she has been very vital. She has made so many interceptions to deny the Herentals those chances to actually attack.
She has denied or diffused Herentals the opportunity to draw first blood in this match. So after 28 minutes, Herentals 0, Lesotho Defence Force 0. The ice is going to really work. This was one time when we can swap places just for the ice. You know, when you look at the Lesotho Defence Force, they are a side that looks very structured, applying the 4-3-3, you know, the midfield, the width. You see Makgotso pulling out, giving them that necessary width, and then on the other side you have Namane and Maseriti, who's supposed to be the focal point. So a drop ball it is.
I take it.
Goalkeeper, 30 minutes. Right in front of the referee. Free kick is given for a foul. Not much fluidity in the match though. Stop, start, break in up play. I think the two coaches will want to rectify that. Here's the ball just over the top. Rungu. And that was pretty close for Prainens Zawanda, who thought she was on with the money. Very nippy players, Prainens. She needs to hoof it forward, got it over the halfway line, but the ball trickles out for a throw-in. It will be Herental's with Mafuruse. Strong hands though. 30 minutes, 0-0 is the scoreline. Majority of the play just being in that midfield battle, and Herental's pushing up. You get a moment when Lesotho Defence Force get to the opposition half. But, I think it's pretty clear that Raitu Metsinamane had a talking to from the coach. She's really keeping a line and watching a line. I think she does have the beating of the defense of Herentals. Mafurus. She's closed down by Makhotso. Referee gives the free kick to Herentals. Stay down. Also with another one with the lipstick and the hairdo. A bit of a stocking on the head, if I'm not mistaken. I see just protecting her hair. And, you know, maybe the question I need to ask Kazembe is, where is she going to after this match? Besides going home, because after this match, if they are on the losing side, home is where the heart is, and they will be packing tonight and really singing and chanting and making sure that they leave Gaborone in style.
Maybe she's exploring Gap City a bit, you know, after this before heading home.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think the players deserve a bit of sightseeing. Here's Rongo! Let drop and asking for a penalty. Eventually it is that one goal that is needed. And it's Mapua, the 14-year-old who starts the match. Or Dewey Mapua. She starts for the first time in this match. She's played 33 minutes in the previous two matches. And, well, that celebration is one of a great star. And she is moving in that direction. A goal in the 33rd minute for Dewey Mapua. Strong player. Doesn't look 14 at all. Lovely stature, and was not to be denied. Let's have a look at this in the replay to see exactly how this goal was scored. And, here is Rongo, who took the snapshot initially. It was deflected by Mapepesa, and again failing to clear their lines, and Mapua just sneaking that ball through and furthest away from the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper appeared to be, the vision appeared to be blocked there. D.
Captain Keme will look at that goal and say, I should have pushed a little bit. I should have been closer to Mapua to try and distract her.
Here's an opportunity for Lesotho Defence Force with Makhotso. It's Mafuruse. Tato Mapepes making a mistake. Here's the pace of the goal scorer on the right-hand side. Some frantic defending as Bokang Tsane, a 24-year-old who is quite livid with the defense, screaming and shouting and looking for cover. She's been left alone and isolated, and hence having to deal with two players. Here's another opportunity on the edge of the box. Rungu sends it out to Diwini Mapua. Lesotho Defence Force will use the outlet on the left-hand side, and down goes Makhotso. Mafuruse is playing with danger and maybe looking to aggravate or irritate the referee. She's still in a very pleasant mood. There's no cards that have been dished out, and maybe she'll just whisper in the ear of Mafuruse to say, you know what, don't do that. I want us to have a good day at the office. Makotso. Ball in that goes on the outside of the bar. And goalkeeper Hadija. She's been on holidays, Hadija. But that is the danger of goalkeepers that are on holiday. When they do get a moment and when they are attacked, and because of them not being coming from an offside position, if only they can just hold those passes. Another offside. I think, what do you have? How many offsides? We're probably
9 so far for LDF alone.
There we go. Lacking the patience. Very clear in that.
They are eager for a goal, I believe, and the coach should stress again to Makhozo the decision making. There was a time where she had to turn inside and she decided to go outside. Come on, you are looking for a goal. You go inside. You don't go outside. You make it easy for Herental defense if you go outside of the 18th area.
Throw in. Losing the ball very much easily and too often in their half. Mafuruse. Polite Mabika. Bridget Mutaura. Erato Keme. She's captain, 32-year-old captain. Played in the one match, and that was the match against Zesco Ndola Girls. She showed some glimpses of great leadership and under pressure. Good take. She's been fantastic, is Musele. She's not the tallest of players, but very busy. Great to meet. Continues the run. She's got 3 yellow jerseys to aim for. Just below the commentary booth is the coaches of either side, and we get to hear some of the information that has been passed across to the players. So I'll share some moments, some funny moments with you. Here's a ball delivered from the right-hand side, but the flag had gone up. Well, it's about 40 minutes and 1-0. Herentals in the lead. A goal that was scored in the 33rd minute by D. Mapua. The 14-year-old has continued to run is Prainant. Well, these are moments the goalkeepers will tell you is switch on, focus, clear. If you are defending, clear that ball furthest away. You want to give free kicks away from the goal mouth and not allow any set pieces or anything. But if you are the attacking team, the instruction is pretty clear. Put more pressure and hope that they would crack, because right now the mentality or the mind is focused on what's going to happen in the change room rather than what's happening in the pitch.
And also the energies has dropped. You know, the last 5 minutes of the game, the energies are down, and minds is no longer there.
Rungu goes down in the box and the referee says, get up and get on with it. She went down rather easily. Rungu, disappointment, I'm sure, from the coach. Zawanda. Here's a take by Zawanda. She gets a bit of a clip. Oh, it's actually Zawanda Prainant that is looking to maybe try and get the referee to sympathize. Slip at a moment when the Herentals were looking to get the ascendancy. Keeper hoof set, and you can't blame it. Needs to get it furthest away from the goal mouth. There's Musele. She sends Tumeti on a bicycle. Another offside. It will be interesting to see that statistic in the break, KK, and, or Miss K. I had KK yesterday, and a few games that we've done up until day 4 with KK. She decides to be relegated to the bench, and we've got a new attacker in Miss K. Already this morning she was with you on the morning show between 6 and 8 a.m. and I am told you do allow her to share insights into the final whistle as well. And on Saturday and Sunday she was in your company in what I call the afternoon drive. And today I've decided she comes and she is alongside me, and will share her expert analysis. Well, that award is lurking for Miss K of show. Here's an opportunity for Magwazo, and that final ball, player goes down, lacking the pace, lacking the energy, lacking the poise. But you also got to look at the defender there. Looks like Prainant, not Prainant. Running with her was Tumbare, and eventually Bridget Mutaura came in, got a foot in. Ray Tumeti is the player that Herentals have got to be cautious of and have got to be careful of. She's really getting into those brilliant positions. She's just that final ball that is absolutely elusive. So Taurai or Mutaura is still grimacing in pain. That hair, peroxide. Quite a few players that have got a dye on the hair, easily identified. Just your summary of the first 45 minutes, Ms. K. We've got the two sides that are looking to share something with the people at home, or just to gauge how things are going in this particular tournament. It is the last match that they are playing in Group A.
I mean, you look at LDF, Glo, let me start with LDF. You look at Namane as well as Makoso, two players. During halftime, I believe the coach is going to have a lot of words with them. They are, of course, breaking that Herental's defense, but the finish, the final touch, the decision making at the end of it all, it is what is making the difference between them and Herentals. In terms of, the midfield, how they have structured, one little concern will be, of course, how they attack. There is that shortness of, supporting the duo up front.
And that's a ball that questions were asked of handball in the box, and really a close call. You had Mahotso looking and hoping that she could have punished the defense as well as the goalkeeper. We'll have a look at that to see if indeed there was a fair shout for that. And the referee there, who appeared to be very close with the action, I can assure you we have our Scorpions who will show you the action without fear or favor, and they have a better lens than the ones that I have, and they will get to show you that particular moment. So for Lesotho Defence Force, they've got not too many complaints. Here's the ball out for Mahotso. She's maybe just taken a foot off the pedal, and it's a tame shot. Another one, this time it's from Nsabe. Intercepted by Ntabele. Showed too much of the ball, picked up by Rungu. And Kondo, stretching play to the right is Kondo. And coming from an offside position is Winnie Mapua. So quickly taken, and then there's a bit of Kondo, Mapua, ball in the air. And trying to wrap a foot around it is Milanda Rungu. So Milanda Rungu, at 31 years of age, before coming into this match, she had about 60 minutes to her name, contributing in both the games against Zesco and the other one against Gaborone United. It wasn't that effective. This time looking for a quick return. Bridget Mutaura.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Herentals have got something to really hold on to. 1-0. And the referee just that ball just skimming away from the goal mouth and allowing goalkeeper, that is Hadija Nalongo, time to chew the clock. She's playing it short to Mafuruse, and referee Kialebocha says thank you very much, and brings an end to the first 45 minutes. Mapua has come close on a couple of occasions. It is all to do in the second half, as both teams who have been on 0 points, but it is Herentals, if the scoreline remains as is, will get 3 points and take home a goal to the good. So for the Lesotho Defence Force, the Army ladies, they are trailing yet again, just the way they find themselves in trouble, and being behind and fighting to come back in the second half. Well, that was glimpses of what Mapua can do. Keeper there being asked a lot of questions, and eventually Kondo, who also delivered a good ball that was quite concerning. The pace of Mahotso, also who doesn't have the patience. We had about, 13 offsides in the first 45 minutes for one team alone, and that is the Lesotho Defensive Force. But the striker came in, and that was in the form of the player of the moment, that is Winnie Mapua, the 14-year-old, and she made no mistake in finding the back of the net. That gave Herental's Queens the 1-0 lead and has made the difference. Well, we'll have a look at the statistics of the first 45 minutes, and we do have a guest for you, the ambassador, that is Dipsy Silolwane, a homeboy who's really done it all at every level, and he will give us his insights into the first 45 minutes. How gracious is he being roped in women's football? So we're talking about the shots on target. You're also looking at the corner cut. What is important is 15 offsides in total. 11 of those belonging to the Lesotho Defence Force. That tells you that it is a team that is lacking patience. Well, for the moment, I'll go down to Nosbusiso Sibia with Dipsy Silolwane.
Thank you, Gloria Brown. I am joined here by former Botswana International and COSAFA Ambassador Dipsy Silolwane. Dipsy, it is Herentals that are leading in this half. What did you think of this game?
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to Gloria, the 15 offsides, you can tell they're anxious to try and get their first goal. Herentals played a high line and they're trying to press. And LDF was, they were not patient enough to find the pass and the run. I think it's just anxiety. Hopefully in the second half they'll start to relax a little bit and gain control of the game, time and space, how to use it. But at least you can't fault them for passion and desire.
Definitely can't fault them for passion and desire. But what do you think Coach Dube should change coming into the second half? Obviously, as you are saying that LDF is a bit frustrated.
I think they shouldn't hurry to try and play it up front. If you look at the opening match and the second match, they played a lot of short passes, combination play. And today it's open and everybody's trying to attack. I think if he resorts to what they've done before and they seem to kind of work even though they didn't win, at least you could see the identity of what they're trying to do. But today, I guess, being probably the last match of the group, trying to get a goal, trying to get points at least, has put them under a lot of pressure to try and attack. But you can attack in moments. You don't always have to attack. You just have to keep the ball and be able to use it because there is a lot of space behind the back four for the Queens. So they can always exploit that. LDF has a powerful, strong striker. It's just to find the timing for that one pass.
And now looking at Herentals, how do they make sure that they hold on to that lead in the second half?
I mean, since they scored with the pressure, they shouldn't stop. That the net is never full. I'm a firm believer if you can score 20, scores 20. If you can score one and defend that one, so they're in the lead. So they just have to keep trying to do what they're doing, try and attack on the left flank. There were two decent crosses coming from the left. You can tell now there's a little bit of quality for bringing in the crosses. They should just keep trying to do that. But remain cautious because LDF can counter like they did with the opening games.
Dipsy Silolwane is saying that Herentals need to make sure that they do not succumb to the pressure in the second half. Do join us back for the second half.
Welcome back to the second half of our Group A match. Herental Queens and Lesotho Defence Force. If you are just joining us, the scoreline is 1-0 in favour of Herental Queens. A goal that was scored in the 33rd minute by D. Mapua, the 14-year-old. Looking for a better second half. Maybe a lot more structure, maybe a lot more energy. And for the Lesotho Defence Force, it's not over until that final whistle. So they've got 45 minutes to get the equalizer. Coach Nation Dube and Taurai Maguiro have really shared words of wisdom in the first half. And it is time for them to settle in the second half. These two teams will bid us farewell after the match, irrespective of the result, because you have Gaborone United with 6 points, you have Zesco with 6 points, and they will battle it out as both those teams have already qualified. So you might find that a draw could be appropriate so that they don't overexert themselves. But there are some teams that just want to go in with a 100% record and make a statement.
And also, you look at who is your possible opponent in Group B. I know as Gaborone United, you wouldn't want to face Mamelodi Sundowns in the semi-finals. Zesco will also be saying, nah, we don't want to face Mamelodi Sundowns rather in the semi-finals. So it's going to be an issue of who is finishing as number one in Group A, because definitely if Sundowns are going to finish as number one in Group B, you're not facing them.
Well, it is about cherry picking now between the two teams that will do duty 7 p.m. and that is Zesco Ndola Girls up against Gaborone United, the home side. And I can assure you, they have the 12th man on their side. So you make your way to the Gaborone Stadium to witness some interesting football, some tight football, as we continue with this afternoon's clear skies and a bit of a light breeze, these lovely conditions. And we still are welcoming Herental Queens to the shores of Botswana and Lesotho Defence Force. Botswana have done everybody proud in hosting a tournament that has taken 15 years to unpack and deliver at a time when things look good for Lesotho, for Botswana, that is. So the question is, who wants it more? Queens from Zimbabwe or the Army ladies from Lesotho? We talk of Miss K, Karabo Bosina. She is alongside me. I'm sure you're wondering, who's that alongside Gloria? KK has been substituted and will get to maybe join her towards the knockout stages of the competition. No changes from either side in the half-time break. Here's Lesotho Defence Force with Reitumetse Namane. She's looking to run at the defence, but that ball goes out for a throw-in. Good defensive header from Reitumetse Namane. It's breaking up play, and for Herentals, who are looking to be a lot more purposeful and maybe looking for that insurance goal that is needed. We do know that 1-0 and 2-0 is never a safe score.
It's never a safe score, and the Herental Queens going forward from the midfield, going forward, a very tough side to say, and the only concern for them will be in that defense, the offside traps that they have been trying to set. But Lesotho Defence Force in the last 45, they'll be looking to see how the three midfielders are going to support the three attackers in Mwalusi, Masirite, as well as Namane. What is Peleya, Makaban and Peter going to do to support the front three to try and get an equalizer or even more goals that can give them the maximum points?
Well, I thought I would share the lineup for you, Herental Queens. It's Nalongo in goal, Ignis, Mutaura, Kazembe, Mabika, Kondo, Mafuruse, Zulu, Rungu, Zwawanda, and Mapua. Ball delivered, sent straight to the goalkeeper there by Winnie Mapua. And also just to share with you the lineup for Lesotho Defence Force. It is Sibulelo Mwenza, Bokang Tsane, Lerato Keme, Musele Peter, Dimpo Tako, Tabeling Makabane, Reitumetse Namane, Tato Mapepesa, and Mahotso Malosi, Masiriti, Motlolo, and Tabeling Billy. That is the lineup for Lesotho Defence Force. Throw in. And that ball trickles into the hand safely there of Hadija Nalongo. Much better. This time the race is on between Tumbare and Masiriti. Prainance. Kondo, keeper spotting the keeper off a line. Took that snapshot. Very hopeful.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Lesotho with the diminutive Musele. Bit of pushing and shoving. And Sabing delivering a ball. It's packed with pace, but doesn't get on target. It is Mahotso and Masiriti. Reitumetse Namane. These three players have really been instrumental in the manner in which LDF play. There's no issues around fitness here for LDF. Kimasole Anit.
Kimasole Anit. Kimasole Antwa.
Antwa. Yes, there we go. Mistake made in that defense. And Winnie giving chase. Zulu. Kondo. Good improvisation. Polite Mabika. Ball into space. Good pickup there from Masiriti. Mahotso gets the delivery but runs into trouble. Bridget Mutaura decides she'll take her on. Sabeng Pili very much, there's a number of turnover balls, neither side able to keep the ball for a good couple of passes, get into some combinations.
I don't know what came different in the second half of Glow. The first half, the two teams were, seeing them touching those balls, the build-ups, beautiful build-ups. But so far, second half, it has been whose and whose ball. Whoever wants the ball gets it. Whoever doesn't want it, she gives it away.
It's a bit scrappy, but here's another opportunity for Ray Tumetse to give chase, but she's got Tumbare, who has been pretty solid, has played nice and clean, doesn't put herself in trouble. Yes, Tumbare again brings a goalkeeper into the equation, and goalkeeper will just hack that ball forward, looking to pick up Winnie. Prainance as well, bounce of the ball does pick up Prainance, turning into the defense, looking to thread it through to Winnie. Prainance's persistence. Yes, Winnie, and another challenge too, to stop her in her tracks. Christabel Zulu. Polite Mabika. This time Masirite is chasing. Picked up by Mafuruse. On the edge of the box is Kondo! Good save by the keeper. That was a point-blank save.
Very beautiful save by Mwenza. It shows that she is in the game. She is alert. She knows what is happening. And her defense here and there, they are letting her down. Good thing her eyes are out. You know, she's seeing everything that is happening. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful save. You can take nothing away from her.
And here's another opportunity quickly going into the hands of Sebolelo. Well, as a goalkeeper, you need to be alert, avert the danger at every opportunity. Here's a Prainance, a slight push right in front of the referee, and the referee says, let's go on, let's carry on playing.
But one thing that I have realized at Law is Lesotho Defence Force in the second half, they were not this porous. There are so many gaps in their defence in the first 5-10 minutes of the second half. The first half, they were very tight, you know. It wasn't easy for Herental girls to be just going through their defence, but the same cannot be said in the first 10 minutes of this half.
Yes, Winnie on the opposite end. Threads that ball, looking to get it through the needle, but there was only one player to aim for. Christabel Zulu showing a bit of skill, and here's Melanda Rungu coming back to Polite Mabika. Winnie on the ball, hoisted in the end on the edge of the box. Bokang doesn't know anything about it. Explosiveness by Kondo. Prainance was the intended recipient, but too close to each other and running into each other's way, and maybe a lack of communication for the moment. Ball picked up by Rungu yet again. Mabika is given options. Prey on the receiving end of Winnie's hopeful pass. Yes, Prainance, and the offside flag coming through, but a little bit late, I might add. Even though she had acres of space, I think she'll be disappointed with that run. She'll be disappointed with herself as Prainance Zvawanda. Well, yesterday we got to see the two-time African champions in action. Ball in, and a good touch that denies Lesotho Defence Force a goal. 2 hands, deflection for a corner after 55 minutes. Good explosive attack from the Defence Force.
Like we were saying in the first 45 that Herental Queens, the offside trap, there's going to be a point where they're going to be punished from it. It's just unfortunate for LDF that they haven't scored yet.
Well, it is a corner, and Ntabeleng Makabane needs to deliver a good ball. Again, you get 2 hands to it, and eventually that ball goes out. The ball retrievers will make sure that it's back and as quickly as possible. Well, as I was mentioning, that for players like Masariti, they have given a good account of themselves. They haven't done too badly at all. Individual play. Yes, more of these competitions will just help improve football out in Lesotho. Kick for Life is the other team that has been part of this competition. Picked up by Rungu. It's Tato Mapepesa. Win it back for LDF and send Tabi Singh on a bicycle, but the flag goes up. Well, yesterday, which is Group B, we had Mamelodi Sundowns put 1 foot forward into the semi-finals, and they won by 3-0 against Silver Strikers of Malawi in a pulsating match. Sundowns going to the top of that particular group, yet to concede. So they've kept 2 clean sheets and have looked like a well-oiled machine. Our last game, we'll come back to that, and just losing a footing at a vital moment. So Sundowns will be certainly up against Costa do Sol. Singizini was in the receiving end of a 8-goal thriller. Finally, that ball goes out, and it gives an opportunity for Lesotho Defence Force to make their intentions clear. They've come close, the goalkeeper making the difference. So Silver Strikers, who themselves find 3 points in the bag, and they are ahead of Costa do Sol in their head-to-head record. So Hotspurs yet to get off the mark, but are not mathematically out of the running. So 2 teams from each pool can make their way into the semi-finals. Well, you had to see the show of Karaba Dlamini yesterday. 2 great goals. And we've been blessed in this tournament to see some fantastic. Radio Kanya also getting onto the score sheet. Isabel Ludwig having quite a marauding influence. So there's also individual awards that are up for grabs. The Golden Boot, the best goalkeeper, player of the tournament. So Zesco Ndola goals, and Gaborone United, who will be doing battle this evening at 7 p.m. with 6 points apiece, separated by goal difference, with Zesco comfortably with a +4 goal difference, and Gaborone United with a +2 goal difference. Lesotho Defence Force and the Herentals pack to go home after this match. Group B sees Mamelodi Sundowns, Silver Strikers in 1st and 2nd place respectively. But you also have Costa del Sol, who's level on points with Silver Strikers. Player, it's still Mapuma holding her ankle or her toes, being stepped on.
We're going to have a very interesting game tomorrow between Silver Strikers as well as Costa del Sol. Only one team. We're going to be looking forward to joining Mamelodi Sundowns into the semi-finals.
No, absolutely. I mean, Sundowns has booked their spot with a 100% record, and it's still very much open for the second position. Silver Strikers, as I mentioned, with 3 points. Costa del Sol also with 3 points. So that match is crucial. Even a point will do for either one of those sides. They can play to a draw, then you're going to go into lots and complicate. I don't know why do we fail to understand that maths has an influence on football in particular. Get out the calculators. And so 1-0 still, Herental's in the lead. Mafuruse with a good turn. Mapua, Mafuruse. Good save by the goalkeeper. Well, I think she's really redeemed herself as goalkeeper. That's Sebulelo. We're seeing some good reflexes. Mafuruse's flat on the ground. Again, for teams whose leagues have not really kicked off, this is a big ask. Getting a tournament of such compact matches and high intensity. Players towards the end do struggle. We saw quite a few with calf injuries and struggling to finish the match. Yeah, we're seeing Mafuruse also on the ground. And yes, we are made to believe that the league hasn't really kicked off out in Zimbabwe.
I mean, as a region, is something that we need to work on. We have to have competitions of this magnitude, having our leagues on. I'll give you an example. Our local league, the men's league, haven't started, and next weekend we are taking CAF Champions League, Confederations Cup. We're going to be having your teams representing the country without having competitive matches. So it's something that we have to, as a region, if we want to be competing, winning CAF more often, work on. We need our players to be very active, to be very fit when going to the CAF Champions League competitions and even these qualifiers.
Well, absolutely. I think it's pretty clear as the player being stretched off. Here's Alice Moyo, very experienced defender. Ball whipped in. Header. Woodwork coming to the rescue, still dilly-dallying and clearing their line. Keeper went up for that. Tumbare Agnes is asking questions of the goalkeeper. She'll tell you. In actual fact, she'll whisper to the players and say, I had that covered, don't worry. Bridget Mutaura makes her way to the first pole. Bridget. Ball in, header coming from deep, and she knew not much about that after the connection. Trying to wrap that ball around her feet is Mapua. That's a free kick.
A little bit earlier you spoke about how much we can hear from the benches, and you can hear coach from Herental's Maguriwo, literally everything. You know, when the player has the ball, he tells them to who, to this one, to this one. We hear all the secrets in here.
3 players in the wall. Ball is delivered deep. There's Kondo. Stopped in the tracks. My Musele. Makoto. Instead of using the explosiveness, maybe held back a little, which is what a defender needs, a second or two of indecisiveness, and they pounce on you just like that. Makhoto on the edge of the box. Makhoto.
A new tactic for Makhoto there. She should be knowing that that is wrong. You can't do that. She literally costed her team a chance to attack.
Dangerous play by Makhoto, because in a situation like that, any player can tramp on you, and that becomes a bigger brawl. And we do know that the referee will stamp that argy-barginess very, very quickly. Here's Mapua trying to cut in, releasing it for Prainers. Good turn by Makhoto. Nantabe. Here's LDF, but Tumbare has been fantastic defensively. Captain, that's Keme, sends that ball up front in search of Reitumetsi Namane, and she had strayed in an offside position. Reitumetsi Namane. There are two players getting ready to come onto the field. It's Benza and Alice Moyo. Benza is quite a busy bee. You also then have two players of Lesotho Defence Force with Lerato Mpo and Katlego Mafirika. Katlego Mafirika, if I'm not mistaken, hasn't really seen too much of the action. In actual fact, she's just played 23 minutes, is Katlego Mafirika. So Dama Morono Shalene is also getting herself ready. So there are a number of changes that are happening. So out goes number 11.
Substitution for the Defence Force. Out is number 6, Mosele Peter. In is number 11, Lerato Mpo. Out is number 15, Makhoto Lucy. In is number 19, Katlego Mafirika.
And jersey number 11, and that's Lerato Mpo and Mafirika come on for Musili.
Those are the substitutions which Lesotho Defence Force team be looking forward to seeing what impact they are going to bring in this game. And talking about Makhoto Malusi being subbed off, not surprising, she was very down, and Mosele Peter also, she was a little bit down. We're going to be waiting to see what the duo who just came in is going to provide for Lesotho Defence Force, Mafirika. What is she going to give to this Lesotho Defence Force, as well as Lerato? Looking at how Herental Girls has been defending, how are they going to make sure that, you know what, this slow defense, this glitch defense of Herentals, they are going to punish them?
Ball into the box, that goes over the bar. Just a quick glance by Mwinza. While we get ready for the next change.
Substitution for Herental Queens. Out is number 10, Moyo Alice. In is number 3, Benza Natash. Out, jersey number 11, Mapua D. In, jersey number 17, Shailene Dambamurumo.
So Shailene Dambamurono goes in, and Natasha Benza goes in. And Winnie Kapua comes out. Winnie Kapua is given way together with dear Winnie. So dear Winnie comes out. We'll have a look at some of the action. Water break. The coaches trying to push their players on, looking for the motivation.
Looking for that motivation, you look at the Herental Queens, Benza coming in. She was in the score sheet against the Zescondola girls. What is she going to give this Herental Queens team? Looking at how they have been attacking Glow and the defense of Lesotho Defense Force, lapse of concentration. They are no longer defending like they were doing in the first 45. Benza is coming in as a danger for them.
You have Benza coming in, and Damba Murono is also in. Who does she, or what does she bring differently?
You'll be looking at her to provide, to give those killer passes, to provide those defense splitting passes in this Herental Queens team. And it's something that they have been lacking. Most of the time, they go out, they rely on crosses. When I have that, a defense splitting pass straight to the attacker and maybe, just maybe, beating the goalkeeper.
Yes, Benza showing a good pair of real fresh legs. Doing a little too much in the box, maybe needs to release it. Damba Murono is available, but she's waltzing away and been forced away from the goal mouth eventually. Lesotho Defence Force win that ball. Will be quite happy to give away a throw-in. Throw-in. Benza. She turns and turns into trouble. Sabeng. Good take. Christabel Zulu in that midfield. For keeping the pattern, keeping the discipline. Well, you have to keep the compactness vertically and horizontally with the 4-4-2. And that offside, I've lost count of the number of offsides. We got to hear Dipsy Silolwane talk about patience in the game, and the number of corners there, the number of offsides is just a clear indication of a team that is very ready to attack, but not looking at the lines, or should we say Herentals have been fantastic in playing those offsides.
They have been good. We'll say they are good because they haven't considered 14 offsides so far for the Lesotho Defence Force in almost 75 minutes played. So far, the plan for the offside trap by Herentals is working for them.
It's a corner. Ball delivered in the box and a header. That is a defensive header from Tatu Mapepesa, the lipstick lady. Gets another opportunity to deliver, maybe this time from Kondo. It should be a better delivery. And who gets to the end of that is Damba Murono. Now that will allow a bit of breathing for LDF. While the ball has been taken back Referee says it was not. It was still moving when the ball was played. Tatu Mapepesa. Kondo. On the edge of the box. Yes, LDF. Too many pink jerseys in that defense, outnumbering the yellow jersey. And keeper is also quick off a line. Zulu. So we have about 14 minutes of regulation time plus the referee's optional time. Ball goes out for a throw-in. It's really been scrappy, and these two teams maybe have run out of energy. They've given up on the tournament, this pretty much being a dead rubber, because the result doesn't really matter. It's more playing for pride rather than anything else. As Benza taking on the defense and looking for Prainens, but instead picks up Bonkang. Well, it is Nsingizini Hotspurs who have conceded the most number of goals in this tournament. They've conceded 11. So it's Sundowns that are yet to concede. This after playing 2 matches, 2 clean sheets for Miss Andile Itlamini. Throw in. Benza looking to keep it in play, but it goes over the line for a goal kick. Played short. Referee again wants it to be stationary.
When talking about the energy levels of, the two sides, it looks like Lesotho Defence Force, the energy is a little bit gone. For Herental Queens, the introduction of Benza, she still has that energy, still going into that Lesotho defense. And we're talking about the start of the leagues and injuries glow. This is one of those things that we are seeing happening, the many injuries which are happening throughout these qualifiers.
Well, not too many serious ones, but you're seeing those which is a lot of muscles and cramping of players. Well, just to share with you the stats of this tournament so far. Before the game today, we had 8 matches played with 30 goals, and the biggest victory being that of Mamelodi Sundowns in Group B. And they are the team that is scoring the most goals between the 2 groups. And Nsingizini Hotspurs getting the biggest hiding of the tournament so far with that 8-0 thrashing. You also have had hat-tricks that have been scored. I think the most hat-tricks that have been scored. Ball in, and keeper gets a hand to it, and that goes out for a corner. Hadija doing well. She's really wanting to keep that clean sheet. Hadija, second time she's made such a brilliant clearance is Hadija. Good hands and deflection over the bar, but corner is maybe a better option rather than giving away a goal. So Liluna Daweti, Lucia, Mozambique of Costa de Sol, Enelis Piri of Zesco Ndola Girls, Rifilwe Tolagale of Mamelodi Sundowns. Those are the players that are on a hat-trick. So fighting for the golden boot, and all those players can still continue
Substitution for Herental, please. Out,
fight
jersey number
for that
9,
golden boot.
Grace in, jersey number 12, Moyo Alice. Out, jersey number 3, Zovanga Pregnance. In, jersey number 24, Gwangwara Ketri.
So number 12 and number 9. And Pregnance coming off. So Alice Moyo, Zawanda, Catherine Gwangara. Gwangara also came on in the previous match. That is against Gaborone United. The coach is solidifying and bringing on another attacking player. So this is really going to ask a lot of questions of Lesotho Defence Force in that defence, because Gwangara is quite problematic. She piles on the pressure, asks the questions of the defence, and a combination with the Benza is quite frightening. It got some telepathic understanding. So 8 minutes to go to the 90. Failing to add to the 1-0 lead that they have. The question will always be asked, can you defend for the full 90 minutes?
It's a question which the Herental Queens so far are answering very well. For Lesotho Defence Force, you look at the defence, we spoke about it, that, you know what, there were many gaps, more especially in the second half. Can they go to the 90 minutes with this only goal having conceded, or we will see the Herental Queens giving us a goal or even two? So far for the Herentals to say, are you defending well? They'll say, yeah, we are defending well. We haven't conceded. And them bringing Moyo as a defender to come and, you know, bring that new energy in the defense. We have seen the goalkeeper, Hadija, doing so well, trying to get that clean sheet for the Zimbabwean girls.
Kondo, Zulu, header away, picked up by Maseriti. She's looking for an outlet. Instead, that ball goes out, and it will be a throw-in for her Herentals. Moyo. Corner for Herentals. We have 7 minutes to go, or 6 minutes to go to the 90. 7 p.m. is a date as Mamelodi Sundowns, Gaborone United up against Zesco Ndola Girls. Pulsating match that lies ahead. You know, there is an opportunity for a player of the match, and you've got to look for a couple. And very often the player of the match comes from the winning side. So my eye is catching on two players in particular. Two players in particular. You can look at Bethel Kondo. You can also look at Grace Kazembe. She's had a good day at the office, even though she's been substituted. She was a player that contributed immensely. I don't know, Ms. K, who's your player of the match?
I liked it that you started with the fact that player of the match comes from the winning side. If I were to be given the chance to say pick up player of the match, regardless of the team, I was going to go with Mwenza, the goalkeeper for the Lesotho Defence Force. She was just so good, denied Herental Queens so many scoring opportunities.
I agree. You know, she's made a huge difference, and she's pulled off some brilliant saves to deny her team from further punishment. She has had a good 90 minutes. That is Sibulelo Mwenza. Alice Moy. Mapepesa. It's been hardly getting a breather. She's been busy throughout. Moyo. Well, this tournament was played last year out in Malawi at Mpira Stadium. This time it's played in Botswana. It's good to see the rotation taking place in COSAFA, getting countries ready for hosting big tournaments. These are dress rehearsals, but it's gone on fantastically. It's gone on without a hitch. The 4 minutes. Benza. Sandwiched, but eventually right to Metsi. And Same will deliver that ball, and it's Alice Moyo will knock it into the space. Picking up Christabel Zulu, kept in play by Bethel Kondo. Moyo, Christabel, and Bethel gives chase, but winning that fight is Dimpo. She's really given her all. If you can lip read, Dimpo. She's done.
She's out.
She's done. Here's Damba Murono. Oh, looking to navigate that earlier. But Kondo. She's deserving of a goal as Kondo. And disappointment for sure from Gwangara.
Very disappointing. I mean, that was a clear chance for the Herental Queens to just wrap up the game. I don't know. She literally passed the ball where she was looking. We always say it's very important for players to assess their surroundings, assess where they are.
Benza gives chase. She'll try and bring back that ball, chase down everything. I love her work ethic as Benza. There's Damba Murono, turn, and she stayed down. Goalkeeper, Alice Moyo. Zulu trying to cut through, and the offside flag went up. Our ball retrievers, who have done a good job in this tournament, disciplined. They've been fantastic. They've been awesome. Is it school holidays in Botswana?
For English mediums, private schools, they are closed. For the government schools, schools are open.
Decent ball, spotting the keeper off a line. Fancying a shot from almost the halfway line. There's another player, it looks like Tumbare, who is another one that put her hand up for player of the match. Tumbare, number 23, she did very, very well in that back four for Herentals.
They were disciplined at the back, Herentals. It wouldn't be surprising to see men of the match coming from their defense. Offside traps, which we were concerned about, well, for them it worked. They played so well. And when you spoke about the rotation of the COSAFA Glow, last year Malawi, we know it has been South Africa and now Botswana. We also want to be given that chance as Southern Africa to host the CAF Champions League, eh?
That too is not too far-fetched, and I believe we are capable, although I've seen 3 countries put their hands up. I think it's Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda.
Yes.
They will be looking to maybe put together a tournament, and that will be interesting to see. Not too far apart are those 3 countries, and there is a calendar that is also out looking to share responsibilities around the region. But yeah, I think it's welcome on the southern side. North has been privileged and have really delivered those showstoppers. and we are really benefiting from that. And we've seen what tournaments can do. They do help with the development of the game, awareness of the game, and also improve facilities.
Of course. We will, it will be very interesting to have those Northern African countries come into Southern Africa as well to play the Champions League, the Women Champions League. I don't think that one is, a bit difficult as maybe, the top ones, your AFCONs.
I mean, South Africa's hosted the World Cup and have the stadiums. And it can and proven that they can host such tournaments. Well, Bethel Kondo, her day is done, her race is run, and Harima Kanyaho is the player. Kanyaho, Harima. So what do you make of that change, Miss Kay?
It's a change which says, Kanyaho, go and help us grab the maximum points. Go and help us make sure that LDF doesn't score. Let's go and literally close it up. They are just closing it up. Herental Queens, she's a midfielder, defensive midfielder. We're trying to stop the attacks of Lesotho Defense Force, trying to stop the passes of Lesotho Defense Force to try and go home with at least 3 points.
Throw in for LDF. So Moyo came on. Wangara came on. Bethel came on. And Kanyahu, Harima came on. Those are the 4 changes made by the coach. He's kept that lipstick intact throughout this match.
Entire 90
That is
minutes.
Tato Mapepesa. Well, we do have also a lipstick lady of our own, Nomvula Khwale, who plays for TS Galaxy. TS Galaxy Queens. Well, this could be the last action of the match as Tumbare sends it into the hands of the goalkeeper. It's a long ball. Masiriti. Anywhere will do. Polite Mbika just really shares her frustration this evening. It's really been cooler. I think a good decision made in terms of looking after the welfare of the players in this competition. Switching the games from 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock to 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. We'll get to see the player of the match for Herental Queens. But like you said, I think goalkeeper also put her hand up. Ball is still being negotiated in the air. Alice Moyo bundled off very easily. Benza, Damba Murono, denied by Mahotso. Keepers way off a line, and you got to look at that challenge and appreciate the work that's been put in by Tumbare. She's closed down, smothered everything, stopped everything. All the attacks that were initiated, whether it comes from the wing, she's really been alive and spoiled the party for the Lesotho Defense Force.
Concentration, the entire 90 minutes, alertness. She was doing small details but very important, sticking to the basics, not trying too hard. That's what she did at Tumbare to make sure that at the end of it all, as it looks like, they are going to Zimbabwe with the maximum points and finish on 3rd in Group A.
Well, they've got enough time to rethink, refocus, re-energize, prepare for the league. Black Rhino Queens will be waiting. Two teams in Zimbabwe that have been quite fantastic for women's football. Tired legs out there, and referee Kielebocha brings an end to this match between the Herentals and Lesotho Defence Force. 1-0 the final scoreline. Single goal was scored in the 33rd minute, the first half of this match.
That's how it comes to an end in Group A. Herental Queens, they came with a plan. They got the most important thing that they wanted today, the maximum points, a goal, a very clean game. Glow, we can say no yellow card or no card in this game. And for Lesotho Defence Force, a very young side, for them is also to go back to the drawing board, try to rectify and do better in the next tournament. But the game plan today, unfortunately, it didn't work for them.
Not working, but they should not despair. It was a real fight and competing in all areas. Earlier opportunity that fell to Mahotso, who wasn't able to use the chances that were created and maybe put them away. She was at it one more time and had Bridget Mutaura chasing shadows as she continued to impose her stature, at times forgetting the compass and just hoofing that ball furthest away from the net. It had to take the young 14-year-old Winnie Mapua to get the goal in the 33rd minute. So Winnie is the player who got the goal that separates the two sides, and a little bit of busyness in the box. Keeper could not do much. Sibulele Mwenza just making sure that the scoreline does not increase. Herentals was throwing wave after wave, and some very timely and brave challenges that were dished out on an afternoon that had not too many goals, as we watch with bated breath of excitement that was dished out. Modi Mafuruse and Reitumetsi Namane looking to try and poke holes one more time, but goalkeeper Hadija Nalongo was absolutely awesome in a goal for Herentals. Got a touch very often to deny a Lesotho Defence Force who came out in the second half a lot more determined to get the equalizer, but try as they did, and goalkeeper Hadija denied moment after moment, and eventually the final whistle brought the curtain down on a match that was very tightly contested. So full-time score here at Gaborone United Stadium, it is Herentals 1 and Lesotho Defence Force 0. The statistics tell you a story pretty much tight when it came to the attacking third. Defensively, there was hard at work when you look at the number of fouls that were scored, 16 in total, and 20 offsides, the highest recorded offsides in this tournament. So we will go down to the touchline to Dr. Brenda, who will be awarding the trophy to our player of the match, together with Nosbusiso Sibia and our player of the match there, Tumbaro Agnes of Herentals.
Esteemed commentators, Herentals' defense was very strong today, Gloria. It is no shock then that the player of the match is defender Tumbare Agnes, and to hand over the trophy is Dr. Brenda Kunda COSAFA, EXCO member and chair of women's football. If Dr. Brenda can please hand over the trophy to our player of the match. Agnes does also represent the Warriors of Zimbabwe, the national team. She is very essential to their defense as well. And now I am going to be joined by the coach of Lesotho Defence Force, Coach Nation Dube. Both teams are out of the competition, and I'm just trying to hear from the coach what he thought of today's game. Coach, an unfortunate result, and it is the end of the journey for you. What was your assessment of the game?
Otherwise, maybe for now I can say thank you, COSAFA, for the tournament. But otherwise, I think it was a good learning curve for my girls, because it's just work in progress. I just joined this team only. I've got a month, and then now tactically, I think we are getting there.
We want to know, Coach, what are the lessons, if it is a learning curve, what are the lessons that you learn here in this competition?
The first thing is when you get your chances, you just have to convert them. That's the first lesson. And then the second lesson is like, even if they score first, we just have to keep fighting. We don't just give up.
And Coach, how do you make sure then that next year you do qualify yet again for this competition?
Otherwise, we are just going to prepare. Next year we are coming stronger than how we were, because nobody was expecting this from us. But I'm saying we are coming.
Thank you so much. That was Coach Nation Dube of Lesotho Defence Force saying definitely next year they will be coming back stronger than they performed in this edition. Now I am going to be joined by the coach of Herental's Queens, Coach Simbarashe. Coach, a great result, but you are out of the competition. How do you feel?
I think it's great for us not to finish at the bottom, at least finishing at a reasonable position. You know, that's what we fought for, so that we go home at least with 3 points, at least with a win. It shows, yes.
What is the conversation, Coach, from the last game to this one today? Because your girls really came back strong, especially your defense, as well as them being able to take their chances.
I think, like I said, it's a learning process. So we learned from the first game up until now, the last game. And as you see, the girls, they prove they quick learners, because they corrected their mistake. We were solid today. We did not concede, which was key in our last games, because we conceded easily. So today we were solid in defense, and you could see the goals coming, unlike the last games when we missed so many chances.
And Coach, now talking about the next edition, how are you going to make sure that you definitely do come back?
I think we will work on our starting. So we did not start very well. We started jittery. We started afraid to play the ball, afraid to do things. As the tournament was moving, I saw the girls improving, gaining the confidence that we need at this kind of level of tournament. Yes.
Thank you so much. That was Coach Simbarashe of Herental's Queens saying that a lot of lessons were learned in this competition, and they are going to make sure that they do come back stronger next season. Do make sure that you join us back for the clash at 7 p.m. where Gaborone United will be taking on Zesco United in what is a repeat of the last edition's final.
Hello, Mr. Bohosi. Okay, Kim Mike, you are, I don't know, analyst. ke ntse ke buela mo go ona. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Ya lentle.
Erra.
O bua ka one.
Eh, ke mo gone.
Ba go tshware mo setting. Ha o tsena, go tsere. O sa moshimane mo ba se bana la banka ya Michael.
Hello, hello. Ke belela cable. Okay, ke hello, 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 hello. Okay,
Tola mo wane. Analyst.
hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. What's up? Hello. Hello. Check out more. Check out more. Ke a go utlwa. No, but on. No, le off mo mixering. Ne ba tobeditse off. Hey. Hello. Oh, yo se tolla sengwe le sengwe. All right, no stress.
Batho ba rata fela fatshe